Hey amazing parents, it's Dr. Lindsay here with this week's psychology-based parenting tips, which will help you ease the transition to daylight savings time this weekend. Stay tuned to the end where I'll tell you about a free resource that can help elevate your family weekends. So once again, the time has come to set our clocks forward and embrace longer daylight hours, an annual tradition that parents often dread. While adults may find the transition through daylight savings time in the spring relatively easy, children often struggle with the change in their sleep schedule. As a parent, you play a significant role in helping your child adjust smoothly to this shift. In this episode, we'll delve into the effects of changes on sleep schedules on children, specifically focusing on the spring time change. We will explore lesser-known strategies and choices parents have in their arsenal to ease this transition for their little ones. We're going to break this down into 4 sections today. First, the impact of sleep schedule changes on children. Children thrive on routine and structure, making any disruptions to their sleep schedule a potential challenge. When we spring forward and lose an hour of sleep, our internal body clocks need time to readjust. This can lead to a host of issues, including difficulty falling asleep, increased irritability, and daytime fatigue. It's essential to understand these effects to better support our children during this time of transition. Of course, as parents, we are also dealing with the effects of the time change and may have to work extra hard to overcome our own irritability and daytime fatigue. Next, the springtime change, a deeper look. Let's take a deeper dive into what the springtime change means for your child's sleep routine. Shifting the clocks forward means that their bedtime will no longer coincide with their body's natural sleep-wake cycle. Consequently, children may find it harder to fall asleep at their usual bedtime because 8 p.m., for example, will feel like 7 p.m., making the evenings more challenging for both them and their parents. If they lay in bed for longer than usual and end up getting less sleep than usual, then their behavior may suffer the next day. Now let's talk about options for easing the bedtime transition. So when it comes to transitioning your child's bedtime during spring daylight savings time, there are different options to consider. Let's explore 3 common approaches and the pros and cons of each one. So first, rapid time change, meaning get it done in one night. This option involves adjusting your child's bedtime by 1 hour immediately after the time change so that they would feel like they were going to bed 1 hour earlier than usual. This approach has the advantage of being straightforward and potentially quickly aligning their sleep schedule with the new time. However, it can be disruptive for some children who may struggle to adapt so abruptly, resulting in difficulties falling asleep and increased daytime fatigue. If you plan to use this approach, I suggest planning a very physically active day on Sunday so that they are more tired than usual at bedtime and better able to fall asleep at bedtime. Ideally, Monday would be a very active day too, which might mean a fun outing after school for school-age kids. Option 2 is a gradual time change over 2 or 3 nights. With this approach, you gradually shift your child's bedtime by 20 minutes over 3 nights or 30 minutes over 2 nights, leading up to the time change. If your child's bedtime is 8 p.m. and you go with the 2-night option, you would put them to bed 30 minutes early on Saturday and at their regular bedtime on Sunday, so that would be 7:30 p.m. on Saturday and 8 p.m. on Sunday, according to the new daylight savings time. Using the 3-night plan, you would put them to bed 20 minutes early on Saturday and 20 minutes late on Sunday after adjusting for daylight savings time, and then they would be on schedule to be at their normal bedtime of 8 o'clock on Monday. So that would mean 7:40 p.m. on Saturday, 8:20 p.m. after adjusting the clocks for daylight savings time on Sunday, and 8 p.m. on Monday. This method allows for a gentler adjustment, giving their internal clock time to adapt. However, it requires more planning and it extends the transition period, potentially leading to confusion and inconsistency. If the 3-night option sounds daunting, try out the 2-night option. That's what our family usually does. Option 3, a child-led approach. Instead of imposing a specific bedtime adjustment, this approach involves closely observing your child's sleep cues and adjusting their bedtime accordingly. So by listening to their natural rhythms, you allow them to guide the transition. The benefit of this approach is that it respects your child's individual needs and preferences. However, this approach requires more flexibility and patience as you navigate your child's signals and adjust bedtime accordingly. Also, if you normally follow the clock to decide on bedtime, you may be a little less in tune with your child's sleep cues and potentially miss their drowsy period, which can result in keeping them up too late. I'd love to hear in the comments about which strategy you chose and how it works for your family. Now let's move on to talking about beyond bedtime adjustments. While changing your child's bedtime is a crucial aspect of easing the transition through daylight savings time, there are other actions you can take to support them during this adjustment period. Consider the following strategies. First, light exposure. In addition to adjusting bedtime, ensure that your child receives exposure to natural light during the day, particularly in the mornings. This helps regulate their body clock. Conversely, you can limit exposure to electronic devices and bright lights in the evenings, as these can interfere with their sleep hormone melatonin production. Number 2, relaxation techniques. Incorporate relaxing activities into your child's bedtime routine to signal that it's time to wind down. Reading a book together, taking a warm bath, or practicing a calming exercise can help create a peaceful transition to sleep. Number 3, consistent wake time. While adjusting to bedtime is vital, maintaining a consistent wake time can also prove to be very beneficial. Wake your child up at the same time each morning to help reinforce their body's natural sleep-wake cycle, making it easier for them to fall asleep at the desired bedtime. There's some solid science behind that suggestion, but I don't blame you if you scoff at the idea of waking your sleeping child. Number 4, nap adjustments. If your child takes regular daytime naps, consider gradually adjusting their nap schedule leading up to the time change. This gradual shift helps synchronize their sleep-wake cycle with the new time, reducing potential disruptions during the transition. And number 5, encourage physical activity, especially during the spring forward time change. Engage your child in physical activities during the day to promote healthy sleep patterns and tire them out for bedtime. And number 6, mindful parenting. Be patient and understanding during this adjustment period. Your child may exhibit increased irritability or resistance to bedtime, but it's crucial to remain calm and supportive. Offer reassurance and comfort, and remember that this phase will pass. Also show yourself some grace if you feel more tired or irritable during this period, and try to set yourself up for success by prioritizing an early bedtime for yourself. Okay, it's time for the take-home message for this episode. As parents, we hold the key to helping our children navigate the challenges associated with daylight savings time in the spring. By recognizing the impact of sleep schedule changes on children, understanding the nuances of the springtime change, and making informed choices, we can ease the transition for our little ones. Whether you choose a rapid or gradual time change or opt for a child-led approach, maintaining consistent routines and supporting their sleep needs will go a long way in ensuring a smoother and more restful transition for your child. Remember, every child is unique, so it's important to find the strategies that work best for your family. With patience and understanding and a tailored approach to your child's needs, you can guide them through the spring forward time change and set them up for restful nights and energized days ahead. Embrace the extra daylight with confidence, knowing that you have equipped your family with the tools to spring forward with ease. Now, managing daylight savings time falls under the consistency category of my 5 C's parenting framework. If you're new to the 5 C's, look in the description below this video to find more parenting resources, including a video about the 5 C's parenting framework and a link to sign up for my weekly newsletter to be sure that you never miss any of my new tips. Okay, amazing parents, that wraps up today's episode. Thanks so much for joining me to fill your parenting toolbox with psychology-based tools to feel more confident and capable in your parenting. If you found this video helpful, I'd invite you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more parenting with psychology tips. Join me next week to learn about different types of parenting styles and how they can affect your child's development and happiness. In the meantime, check out my free resources listed below in the description and keep up the good work on your amazing parenting journey. Oh, and along the lines of planning out an active weekend to help your kiddo adjust to the time change, I have a freebie that you'll love that's all about maximizing quality family time on the weekend. You can download your copy at parentingwithpsychology.com/weekend. My weekly tips are also available to read on my website or to listen to on your favorite podcast player. If you'd like to connect with me more regularly and join the Parenting with Psychology community, follow Parenting with Psychology on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I love hearing from you, so please leave a comment below and let me know how you've been using these tips in your parenting practice, or about any topics you would like me to cover in future episodes. Finally, a quick legal disclaimer. Please note that the advice provided in this episode is different than therapy and does not serve as a substitute for professional psychological treatment or other types of professional advice or intervention. If you or your child have concerns or need further parenting or personal support, please contact a physician or other qualified local health professional. See you next week, amazing parents.